So today we'll be covering 5 tips in Tableau. So let's get started. The first one is the labels at the top. So you can see this is basically a subcategory split across different sales. So there could be scenarios where we are required to have these particular labels, subcategory labels at the top. So we'll see how can we make that happen in Tableau. So for that, we'll be required to go into analysis over here, then go into table layout, and you see an option saying advanced. Click on that, and once you click on that, there will be this option says show innermost level at the bottom of the view when there is a vertical axis. So we'll just uncheck this, and we'll click on OK. The moment you do that, the labels at the bottom will now. Any questions? So what we did, we went into analysis, table layout, advanced, and uncheck this showing innermost level option over here. Okay. That's the first step. Moving on to the second one. We'll basically see how can we unhide or hide the cards in the worksheet. So to do that, we'll go into worksheet, and you will be seeing an option saying show cards. So we can now you can see we don't have any row shelf and column shelf where we basically drag and drop our dimensions and measures, and same thing, we don't have the filter pane, marks pane and all. So we'll just bring them back. So I'm going into worksheet, show card, and I'll check column shelf. Now I got the column shelf. This using this particular show card in worksheet and checking the column shelf, we'll bring in the column shelf, and we can do the same for rows. Here, page shelf, it just has pages, filters, and at the last, marks. There you go. And in here, there's one option over here says show summary. That will bring you the summary card over here, which will basically tell you the summary of the visualization that you've built. So you can see we are basically having 17 subcategories, so it's saying count as 17, and we brought the sum of sales, right? So it's just showing us the sum of sales, average of it, minimum, maximum rating of the sales, right? And you can basically have the title card turned on or turned off from the same worksheet show card, and you can even have a caption for your visualization too. So that you can turn on and turn off using here. And we have one more option here saying show view toolbar. As of now, it's set to automatic. So you do have 2 more options saying show on hover or hide. So we'll see show on hover. Now the moment you hover over the visualization, you got this particular view card to do. So basically you can zoom in or zoom out, or you can basically look for any specific zoom area. So yeah, if you don't want to have this being automatic, and you want to allow the users to basically use this tool, no matter we usually have it in maps, right? But you want to facilitate in any other visualization, you can go into worksheet and show view toolbar, and you can just show it on her. And if you hide it out, no matter it's maps or any other visualization, it won't be appearing up. So let me take it back to automatic. And yep, so these are the cards that we have in the worksheet. Any questions, any doubts in here? Then we'll move on to the next one, which is single measure table. So you can see we're basically having a subcategory by sales as a table, but you see there is no title over here, right? So to quickly get the title, what we'll do, we'll just bring in this over here, some profit, and we'll just remove the sales. Just a second. Profit here, I'll go into measure names, edit filter, I'll just change this, that is okay. And you can see now we basically have sales here. So yeah, So in future, if the calculated field renamed, so you'll be automatically adjusted. It will automatically adjust the table column header as well. Any questions? Then we'll move on to the next tip, which is remove ABC. So in here, this particular visualization, what it's trying to say is like, okay, which region were the salespersons. So our salesperson belongs to which region. We just happen to have only these two columns in a dashboard, but seeing this ABC doesn't look good, right? So let's see how can we remove this ABC. So what we can do is we'll bring this region into text. Now that basically remove the ABC, but we are not having the header over there. So to bring the header, we cannot use measure names because this region is a dimension. So what we can do, we'll just type in a region double quotes in the column cell, and we'll just hide this out. Now that sort of brings the header as well as the regions right below it, and we no longer have the ABCs. So what we did, we just brought the region into text and just type in the header name, the column cell. That's the tip number 4. Then the next tip is, so we go into analysis. So we're basically having region, state, and their sales. So we have this particular totals option, right? So to basically bring in the totals, we just go into analysis and we click on totals, double tap on it. That basically adds the totals in. So I've just so we'll see, you're wondering why even though I've had a total, why are we getting the minimum, right? So you can see the minimum, it's 920, that's the minimum over here. And if you see this particular minimum, it's like 1210, that's coming up, and the grand total minimum would be 920. So how that is happening, you'll just quickly see that even though I've brought the totals, we are getting the minimum. So it can be happened because you can configure the grand totals as a different aggregations. So I'll go into sum of sales because grand total applied on sum of sales, and you can see a total using. So in this particular total using aggregation, I have chosen minimum. So that's why we are seeing the minimum. You can choose sum. That will be normal sum that we will be having. So it will be sum of all this over here, or else you can change it to any other things like average, maximum, and minimum. So let me change the maximum. So now we are getting the maximum of it. So we'll just adjust the the label of this. So we'll just format, and here we'll just say maximum. Same goes, you can adjust the format of this as well. So just the labels. Any questions and doubts here? Okay. We'll move on to the next step, which is okay. So what we have here, we basically have shipment mode by profit, quantity, and sales. We do have that as a table. Now you basically want to make it as like heat map. Okay, so how can we do that? We'll just change it to squares, and we'll bring this particular measure values into colors. Now it went as a heat map, but you can see it's going from 1960 to 13,580,000, 58,000, right? So now if you see profit is in dollars, sales is in dollars, but quantity is not in dollars, it's just a number. So we don't want to have a single gradient across all the measures. But let's say you want to have a gradient across profit alone, and next color gradient across quantity alone, next color gradient across sales alone. So let's see how can we do that. So we'll just go into the color measure values in the color cell. We'll click on the drop down, and you see these options saying use separate legends, right? So you click, the moment you click on that, now we've got the separate legends for each measure. So now you can see this is the legend card for sales alone. This is a measure card for quantity, and this is the measure card sorry, this is sales, quantity, and profit. So you can adjust the colors accordingly. So you just double tap on it, and you can choose different color schemas, and you can apply. Okay, and you can see the that's great. I'll go over here. I'll just take something else. Take this. Fine. Okay. So likewise, you can basically have different colors per measure. This is the tip number 6 I have here. So any questions here? Okay, then we'll move on to the next tip. Okay, in Tableau, we can basically see the underlying data at 3 different levels. So let's quickly see what are those. So first level is over here. So in the data pane, you will be having this particular option saying view data. You click on that, and you will be seeing the complete data that you connected to the dashboard. So this is the first level, and second level, it is at a view. So at a view, you can go into analysis, and you click on view data. Now this will basically give you the a summary of the view data. So we are seeing by segment, subcategory by sum of sales. So you can see the data for this particular view, how it's going to look like, right? And third level is really at a mark level. So we can choose any mark, and I'll choose an accessories. So click on the mark and click on the view data. This will basically bring you the underlying data for us to bring this particular mark. So this is at a summary level, just showing the accessories and their sales. And we'll just look into the orders too, and we've got the complete data. So this is completely for accessories and the data that you used to build this mark. So these are the 3 different levels that you can see the underlying data. Tableau. Yeah, so these are the tips I have from my side. So just to see what are those. First one is like top labels. How can we bring the labels at top? Second one, we've seen how can we hide or unhide the cards. Third one is basically the single measure. How can you bring the the title for that measure on? Fourth one is how can we remove the ABCs, and fifth one is different measures or different aggregations for the totals. Sixth one is how can we basically have separate color legends for each measure. And seventh one is different levels of underlying data. How can we put that in? Right. So yeah, these are all the tips I have from my side. If you have any questions, we can discuss.